arrogant, unresponsive, and wasteful toll agency, the Expressway Authority here. There is a plan that is working its way through the legislature that would essentially do that by merging our local toll agency with several others around the state and folding them all into the Turnpike Enterprise. Okay, the Turnpike Enterprise, that's the name for the toll agency that primarily handles Florida's Turnpike. But there are some toll agencies in other parts of the state, and they, along with the Orlando Orange County Expressway Authority, under this legislation that is being pitched by a Republican up in the Panhandle by the name of Senator Don Gates, it's a Republican out of Niceville, would merge all of the agencies together into Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, okay? The idea here is to save some money. And our local toll road agency spends a lot of money and wastes, I think, even more. Gates projects at least $24 million in savings just by doing away with the local authority here, because it would eliminate all of these duplicated administrative costs. This makes a lot of sense to me. 407-916-5400. Let me tell you what's going on with the Orlando Orange County Expressway Authority right now. They have a 5-year plan that they have to come out with and update periodically. And under the next 5 years, as they envision it, Orlando's toll agency would spend $1.33 billion. Okay? What is that? I don't know, $5 billion of your quarters, something along those lines. Would spend $1.33 billion on the 105-mile local tolled road system. And in the next 5 years, in spending $1.33 billion, they would only build 5 more miles of road. The rest of it is widening interchanges, putting in extra lanes, and, of course, more palm trees and shrubs. Got to have those. And more toll plazas, of course. Absolutely have to have those. And by the way, the 5 miles of road that they are going to build under the 5-year plan is to link the 429 over in northwest Orange County up toward Apopka, to link it to the new Wekiva Parkway, which is the missing link in the beltway around Orlando, and really is the only road I would like eventually to see be built. Unfortunately, they're going to build those 5 miles of road with our toll dollars linking to a Wekiva Parkway they cannot afford to build and are nowhere near being able to build. Is this insanity or what? Now, I'm going to give you the case for not merging the Expressway Authority into the the Turnpike Enterprise here in just a moment, because there are those who are legitimately concerned that there is a downside to this. As far as I'm concerned, nothing could be worse than this toll road agency locally here. They're corrupt, they're arrogant, they're unresponsive. In the depths of the worst recession in our lifetimes, they arrogantly raised tolls in 2009. Remember? And by the way, Dan Webster was Rich Crotty's point man on that. You know, and he drove that. He drove that. And the Expressway Authority raised tolls on us. It was a killer, and it still is. And guess what? They restructured the whole thing to a cost of living increase scenario, whereby next year they're going to raise the tolls again to try and get enough money for the Wekiva Parkway that they still will not have enough money to build. Back in the 80s, they had 5 people working at the Expressway Authority. They still had a lot of toll roads around here. Now they've got 60. Their executive director makes $250,000 a year, Mike Snyder. He admits his job would disappear in a merger, but he says it's not about jobs. It's because we are the best agency We're right here, and we'll be responsive to the people. We're just a simple email or a phone call away. If you merge this all up into one big organization, maybe run out of Tallahassee, when you have complaints with your toll agency, what kind of response are you going to get? I've got to tell you, that makes a little bit of sense to me. It makes some sense to Teresa Jacobs, the new Orange County mayor, who, of course, is on the Expressway Authority by virtue of the office she now holds. And she's really worried about the lack of responsiveness and how tough it will be to keep tabs on what's going on and to get toll road issues resolved in the best interest of the people of Orange County and the other counties in Central Florida if this is one giant agency that is being run at the state level. But I thought all of this over. This agency is so bad. If they merge all the toll road agencies together and they run them from the planet Mars, and they're harder to get a hold of, I still think it'll be better run than what we've got now. How do you feel about that? And the fact that you are going to be paying $1.33 billion over the next 5 years, and they're going to only build 5 miles of new road, and that could be 5 miles of new road to a Wekiva Parkway that doesn't exist. Does this make it any sense for you? What ought to happen with the Orlando Orange County Expressway Authority? You want to see them disappear? Do you want to see it all merged, or do you want to see them stand alone? What's best for the over-tolled drivers of Central Florida? You tell me. You're on these toll roads more than I am. 407-916-5400. Good morning at 712. Speaking of the roads, let's check traffic and weather together now on the twos. Well, toll road, non-toll road, any road, I'll tell you what, I just get such a kick out of driving around in this Acura RL, top-of-the-line sedan, high-performance, luxury, jet black, magnificent styling. I'm test driving it through my friends at Fountain Acura, and I'm so grateful to them for the opportunity to drive this great car and brag about it on the radio to you. Every luxury item you can imagine. I love it. It's got, like, I don't know, a gazillion backup cameras. I mean, you have no excuse for ever running into anything going backwards or any direction. It is a fantastic machine. And at Fountain Acura right now, along with the RL, their top-of-the-line SUV, the MDX 7-passenger, financing rates at Fountain now as low as 0.9% on these brand-new RLs and MDXs for well-qualified buyers like you. If you're already behind the wheel of an Acura, you know how incredible and unique and wonderful they are. How would you like to upgrade at Fountain from your current Acura to a brand-new Acura model with no money down and a similar monthly payment? They can make it happen for you. Find out more. Get a hold of my friends at Fountain Acura. Tell them the Budman says, hey, will you? And they're on South OBT, just south of the Florida Mall, convenient to anyone. Online, fountainacura.com. Callers, I'm coming to you on the Expressway Authority and what we ought to do. 407-916-5400. But I want to talk to you about Easter Sunday coming up here. Don't make Mom cook on Easter Sunday. How about taking her and the whole family to the grandest Easter brunch of all at the grandest place of all, and that is my favorite hotel, Orlando's Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. The Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress brunch has again been voted best in Orlando by Orlando Magazine, and make no mistake, it gets the Budman's vote too, and it always will. I love the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Everything there is first class. The food, the service, the atmosphere, and after brunch, where else could you stroll around such magnificent grounds as they have at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress? It is spectacular. Easter brunch reservations still available, but book now. Call 407-239-1234. 407-239-1234. And online, go to HyattRegencyGrandCypress.com and click on the open table link. And hey, this is exciting. We can help you win Easter Sunday brunch for two at the fabulous Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Just go to our website now, 540WFLA.com, keyword contest. I mean, I have never really had any respect for the way this agency is run, this toll agency, the Orlando Orange County Expressway Authority. But at least when we have them standing alone, we can keep an eye on them. Even though they don't care about us, they'll raise tolls in the middle of a recession. They'll spend $1.3 billion and not build any more than 5 miles of road. But if we merge them into the Turnpike enterprise and the whole thing has our strings being pulled on the tolls from Tallahassee, is that the route we want to go? And we're talking about it with you. Frankly, as I've told you, I've debated this. I see both sides of it. I've argued this with myself, and anything that would make this Expressway Authority here go away in its current form and the way it's run, I would support. Here's Dawn in Wedgefield. What do you think, Dawn?
Well, I'm a proponent of keeping it local.
Okay.
The fact
you understand the problems we have with these people. I'm sure you do.
I do, but I think some of the problems are overblown. You know, since the Orlando Sentinel started their winch hunt a few years ago and went after Ellen Keene and so forth, it's been nothing but negative press about the Expressway Authority.
Well, tell me the good story about the Expressway Authority locally, because I'm hungry to hear it.
Well, as somebody who lives out in Wedgefield and is kind of dependent on the Expressway Authority, I have ways around it. I mean, I can get into town without paying a huge amount of toll because I put in the time to...
If you're in Wedgefield, you're on the beach line, right?
Yeah, but I don't...
You're on the beach line, which is run by the Turnpike Authority, isn't it?
It may be. I have no clue.
But at any rate, go ahead and make your point here, Dawn. Go ahead.
Anyway, there are ways that I can get into town. It just depends on how much time I want to leave earlier, and if I can get in there in enough time. But if I don't have time, I depend on it to get in. It's well maintained. They're continuing to expand the roadways. I'm not well educated on the 5 miles of road issue, but I do know that it works. And we have something here that if we have a complaint, I could go downtown and I could talk to somebody. And once it goes into Tallahassee, just forget about it. I mean, trying to deal with any kind of governmental agency is like having your fingernails pulled out. So
you want them close at hand where you can watch them, where you can connect with them.
That's right.
All right, Dawn, thank you. And I understand that point of view. Here is Bill in Kissimmee. How do you see it, Bill?
The way I see it is that the Expressway Authority, if I could do away with it, I would. But the other side of it is, at least being here local, that we know the funds can get used primarily local, versus maybe Dade Broward getting all the money if it goes to the state level.
Now, that is one of the things that the folks at the local Expressway Authority are warning us about, and the guy who's driving the legislation to merge our toll agency into one grand agency under the umbrella of the Turnpike Enterprise has a response to that, Bill. I'm going to let you go, and I'll share it with you here in 1 minute after we check on what's happening on the roads, tolled and otherwise, at 7:22. Real-time traffic and weather together, the latest check. Sunshine with scattered afternoon storms as it gets hot and steamy, hitting 90 degrees in Orlando, 70 here now in the city. Beautiful. This legislation to merge all of the toll agencies into one grand agency that would be part of Florida's Turnpike Enterprise is being driven by State Senator Don Gates, Republican, out of Niceville, up in the Panhandle. And to this complaint, mostly coming from the folks in power at the local expressway authority, that we're not going to have any control over where the money goes and where the roads are built. Gates says his legislation calls for spending toll money in the county where it is collected once debt payments and other costs are satisfied. Local planning groups, he said, would determine which roads get built, when, and where. And as for Orange County Mayor Teresa Jacobs, now you remember when she campaigned last year? And she was an opponent of the toll hikes here? And she even talked about a rollback. You remember that in the campaign? She was against Bill Siegel, and they both said, yeah, I think we ought to look at rolling back that unconscionable toll hike in the middle of the depths of the recession in 2009. That was an unbelievable burden on the people of Central Florida who were compelled to use the toll roads. It really was. It was unbelievable. It showed the Expressway Authority for everything we know it to be. Completely arrogant, insulated, and unresponsive. The people be damned. That's really the approach more often than not there, and it's just documented year in and year out. I'm not saying there aren't some good people working at the Expressway Authority, because they are. You know, mostly they're the toll takers, you know, who I think are really, by and large, a terrific group. But at any rate, Teresa Jacobs, I haven't heard about the toll rollback, have you? And we got another one coming, a toll hike next year. She is one who worries that we already have a problem with a local toll agency, the Expressway Authority, not listening to people here. And as Teresa Jacobs says, if the state takes over, take that concern I've had in the past and put it on steroids. It will be worse. They will be farther away. They will be more insulated and isolated and unresponsive to us. A caller has already alluded to that as making the case for keeping the Expressway Authority just the way it is. But I think it's been too bad for too long, and I think it needs to go. The other thing is here, I'm saying that they only want to build 5 miles of new roads in the next 5 years, and the rest of it's going to be just upgrading, widening, interchanges, etc. You may think that all of a sudden the Budman is calling for and wishing we could build new toll roads everywhere. That's the last thing I want. There is only one toll road you can make any kind of a compelling case for building at this point, and that is the missing link, the northwest quadrant of the Beltway around Orlando. A city in a metropolitan area this size should have a fully complete circular beltway, and that's the missing link. That's the only thing. But we're not going to build it. I don't want it built until we can afford it, and we're years away from being able to do that by any financing scheme that I can see. But this idea that it would somehow be better if the 5-year plan called for them building 50 more miles of road, I wouldn't support that. Because that's where you get the sprawling growth. You know, and the developers and the politicians and the people of the Expressway Authority have their own cozy little incestuous relationship. This is the way it was when we were in Boomtown, when times were good and everybody had money. And somehow, some way, the Obama administration policies aside, good times will at some point return. And they're going to want to build roads everywhere, toll roads everywhere. And then what happens? Then they get to build all these little cookie-cutter houses in all of these communities, and you get sprawl, and you continue to pave over what remains a paradise. And it all works together to deteriorate the lifestyle for those of us who've made a stake in Central Florida. So you're never going to hear the Budman screaming, build more toll roads. But I got to tell you, $1.3 billion in the next 5 years, and in there are only 5 miles of new road, and they may be to nowhere because they link to a a Wekiva Parkway Expressway, Beltway completion that may never happen. That's the way they run things at the local expressway authority. It's why I say it could hardly be worse if they run the whole doggone toll system statewide out of Tallahassee. I hate to say that. That'll let you know how bad I think the local agency is. Coming up here, Orange County about to approve full benefits for gay partners. Next on BHL 728. Florida Insurance Specialist continues to save the Budman's listeners all kinds of money on their homeowners insurance. It's amazing what they can do through their high technology and their website, challengemyrate.com. They can get you feedback in minutes on switching you to another carrier to give you the protection you need on your homeowners and your savings you'll know about minutes from now. That's how they do it. Florida Insurance Specialists. Now listen to this. Here's an Orlando listener who saved $850, got switched from State Farm at $1,800 a year to prepared insurance at $950 a year. So that's an $850 savings every year on homeowners. What can you save? Find out. Go to challengemyrate.com, challengemyrate.com, or call Florida Insurance Specialist today at 407-805-0200.
Japan's tsunami-crippled nuclear plant has taken a key step in
7:34 here on a Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us, where God and country are honored and old-fashioned American values never go out of style. The Bud Man with you here on the hottest topics in talk radio every weekday morning from 6 until 9. And Jenna and Jeff in the control room. And like it or not, times they are a-changin'. Exhibit A on that will be in the chambers of the Orange County Commission, where there will be a vote that I believe will be in the affirmative to extend benefits to the domestic partners and children of gay county employees. This would be a change to personnel policies that would give the families of gay workers the same life, health, dental, bereavement, and other benefits that heterosexual employees now receive. The driving force on the Orange County Commission behind this, Commissioner Linda Stewart, who says this is a giant step, and it's all in the name of fairness. The policy would take effect on January 1st. Now, what about this? Let me tell you, as I say, times are a-changing. Back in 2002, the leaders of the city of Orlando tried to push through similar discrimination protections to give full benefits to the gay workers on the city payroll. And this city almost came apart. 9 years later, barely a ripple at this particular point in time. Is that progress? Or does that show we're going backwards? Or does that show the effectiveness of the gay activists and the bisexual activists and the lesbian activists and the transgender activists? Because they're all pushing this and driving this. You got to give it up for them. They have moved the ball in the direction they want it to go, and they've moved it quite dramatically, and they are now moving it with virtually no resistance. Is it because all the rest of us have decided whether or not we endorse the gay lifestyle, that fair is fair, and that there is no rational reason why you would deny benefits to somebody just based on their sexuality? Is it because we're all tied in knots by political correctness now, and that syndrome has gotten worse in the last 9 years, since Orlando had such resistance to pushing a similar measure for equal benefits for gay employees through the Orange County, or the Orlando City Commission? Is it all political correctness where nobody's afraid to say boo? Or is it simply fair and what ought to be done, and it shows that society has made progress? You know, I don't endorse the gay lifestyle. There's no question about that. But I ought to be honest with you, I'm not sure how I feel about this. This is now the rule rather than the exception, and Orange County is simply coming late to this. You have to understand that not only Orlando, but Gainesville, Tallahassee, Tampa, Miami-Dade, Broward counties, they've all extended the same benefits, life, health, dental, bereavement, and other benefits to homosexual employees that heterosexual employees have long received. Okay? Now, the argument against it by some, including former Mayor Rich Crotty, was that, well, you know what, it's just going to be a further burden on the taxpayers, because now you got a whole other group of people, who are going to be sucking tax revenues to get their benefits. But is it just a fundamental issue of fairness? Have things changed so much? Have the folks in the gay, lesbian, transgendered, and what did I miss here? Bisexual communities just simply outrun and outgunned everybody else to ram their agenda through? Let's talk about it. Mike, you're in Orlando on BHL. Good morning at 7:39. Mike, what's your take on this?
Yeah, hi, Bud. Good morning to you. I really don't have an issue with them extending the rights to their so-called domestic partners because they're not, in fact, I don't believe civil unions are recognized or marriages. But they're not extending benefits to unmarried heterosexual couples that may even actually have children between them. So I don't see how there's fairness in that, where just because you are homosexual, you can get, and you're with another person, you can get these benefits. But a heterosexual couple that's not married, or maybe even plans to get married a few years down the road due to financial reasons, they don't get benefits extended to them.
That's an interesting point you raised, Mike. Thanks. That's a good one. I like that. Thank you for pointing that out. Here's Steve in Orlando on BHL. Steve, what do you think?
Hey, Bud, I kind of go along with that. The last caller there. I think that once they become legally married, then they should be able to get the benefits. But like he said, you got heterosexuals that are together; they can't get the benefits. And I'm not against gays because I have a gay son and I have gay friends also. But I just don't feel like that we should be doing that until they are legally married or something like that.
Steve, thanks for weighing in. Appreciate it. And Joe in Mount Dora. Joe, you're on.
Hey, Bud, how you doing?
Okay, man.
Hey, those guys took the fire. I mean, it's exactly the way I feel. It's absolutely a political correct move, and these people who live together or roommates, a couple guys, if they're heterosexual but they're roommates, well, they're not going to be helped out at all. So it's just basically you have to perform a homosexual act in order to get a benefit. And that's not what government should be about.
What should be done on the heterosexual side with people who are just couples living together but not married? What should we do? I mean,
well, if the government is not going to cover everybody fairly and equally, then they should stay with the status quo the way it has been, and that's to promote married couples who are the foundation of our society. Get children together and live together for life. That's the ideal. It doesn't happen that way in every case, but it does in enough cases to keep our society from just crumbling completely.
You think what's happening here and is happening elsewhere, and the vote I'm sure will go through in the Orange County Commission today, and this will be done, that it really is political correctness run amok more than anything else? Absolutely.
There's been, people who are conservative generally don't stand up and fight back in a very hard way.
Well, we sure did in 2002 when Orlando tried to do this, and now barely a peep in 2011. Interesting.
Yeah, but that's because they overreached. Radicals, people with an agenda to change society, they overreached. If they do it slow, it's the old hot water thing.
Yeah. We've used that analogy a lot, and I think that's an interesting point. Thank you so much. More coming up. 7:42. Real-time traffic and weather together on the Twos now. Don't you just love this time of year? But if you have cataracts or you know somebody who does, the brightest, sunniest spring day can be cloudy. But the Filatowski Cataract and LASIK Institute has the clear solution. Have Dr. Conrad Filatowski remove those cataracts quickly and safely. He is among the most experienced cataract surgeons you will find anywhere. And folks just like you all over Central Florida are seeing better than they have in many years because they had this safe, easy procedure from the one and only Dr. Filatowski. You know, Dr. Filatowski is simply the best. And now the best is even better because Dr. Filatowski is the exclusive provider of the new Clear Upgrade to cataract surgery. What are we talking about here? Well, with the amazing Clear Upgrade, youthful vision can be yours, and most patients have little to no need for glasses. Don't put up with cataracts anymore. Have them removed and see all the beauty of spring the way you used to see it. And have Dr. Filatowski do the simple procedure. He's done 30,000 sets of eyes. Isn't that amazing? Call now and learn more. 800-EYE-EXAM. 800-EYE-EXAM is your number. Online, myvisionfreedom.com. It's clear to see why you should call Dr. Filatowski. Hey, if you or your folks are closing in on retirement, you know how complicated this can all be to sort it out and to make sure that you got your nest egg in place and that you are getting steady and long-term income from your retirement nest egg. I mean, you got tax issues, Social Security issues, estate planning, investment issues. A little bit mind-boggling, right? That's why I think you need some help. And I don't think you can do better than to get that help from Jack Nelson and Joel Garris, backed up by their fine staff at Nelson Investment Planning Services, where they will never do anything with your money they haven't already done with their own money, and where they offer you something extraordinary. Right now, today, a free 2-hour, no-obligation consultation. They'll get to know you personally and your financial situation, your retirement picture, and they'll put together a plan to make sure that you continue to get income from your money in retirement. This has given thousands of my listeners peace of mind, and you could be next. All you need to do is pick up the phone and schedule the free 2-hour consultation. That's where it begins. Nelson Investment Planning Services, waiting for your call. Make it today. 407-629-6477. 407-629-NIPS. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the promo? There it is. Ready? And the Budman here, and I hope you join me Wednesday morning starting at 6. The S&P downgrades the U.S. credit outlook to negative. What this means for you and the possibility of the U.S. losing its credit standings. At 6:33, don't miss our daily Wall Street Journal update. At 7, why a Central Florida agency wants to spend public money to furnish the unemployed with capes. And at 8, it's been 1 year since the Gulf oil spill. Where are we now on drilling off the coast and the after effects of the huge spill? Little long. Hey, I love the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, Jenna. I mean, it's just the most spectacular hotel with acre after acre. It's just so beautiful. The grounds, it's like being 1,000 miles away, and it's right here in Orlando. And they are noted for having the finest Sunday brunch anywhere. And once again, Orlando Magazine has voted the best brunch in Orlando is at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Now, this is Easter Sunday. Hey, don't make Mom cook dinner. Take her to the Grand Cypress, and we can help you go, because we're going to give away 2 tickets for Easter Sunday brunch at the fabulous Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. To be eligible, all you need to do right now is go to our fantastic website, 540wfla.com, the keyword contest. You have not experienced Sunday brunch until you've experienced it at the one and only Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Right here in Orlando, feels like you're a world away. It is just lavish. It is wonderful. There's nothing like it. And we're giving away tickets for 2 at 540wfla.com for this Sunday Easter brunch at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Oh, you're going to love it. 540wfla.com, keyword contest. In 60 seconds, we're giving away prizes on the Budman's Brain Buster question of the day. Get on the line right now. Take your best shot. Do you think you know the answer? Well, we're going to find out, and we're going to crown a winner. 407-916-5400. Toll-free is open, 1-866-916-5400. 7:52, the update now on your real-time traffic and weather together, always on the 2s. And we're looking at sunshine today, and it is bright and beautiful this morning, but this afternoon it's going to get hot and steamy, triggering scattered thunderstorms. The high about 90 in Orlando. We're already at 70 degrees. All right, we're playing the Brain Buster game. What are we playing for, Jenna? You always check the prize list for us in the morning.
Today we have a pair of tickets to Chairs for Charity. It's presented by Mustard Seed May 7th at the Sheraton in Orlando. Cocktails, buffet, entertainment, and a silent and live auction of one-of-a-kind chairs designed by Orlando's most famous artists.
I'm going to be hosting that event, and I'm looking forward to it. Love the Mustard Seed. It's going to be a great, great event. So there you go. Full bank of phones, and if you're getting a busy signal, wait for a wrong answer in Jenna's buzzer. Then grab that open line quickly. Get a lot of late-round winners here on the Brain Buster. 407-916-5400. Toll-free, 1-866-916-5400. Today is Dudley Moore's birthday. You remember the late Dudley Moore? He was the original star of the classic movie Arthur. Came out in 1981. Now, the latest version is just out, starring Russell Brand. I haven't seen it yet. It opened earlier this month, and on its first weekend, it made, it grossed $12.6 million. Let's go back to the original Arthur with Dudley Moore. What did it gross in its first weekend in 1981? The original Arthur, its first weekend, how much was the take? Take a shot, line one, you're first up.
$15 million.
No, not $15 million. A lot less than that. Remember, they weren't getting $10 a ticket back then either. Line two on the Brain Buster. Take it away.
How about $8 million, Bud?
Keep on going down. 407-916-5400. Opening lines now. Grab them. Let's go to line three.
$1.2 million.
Okay, now you've undershot the runway. Thanks for trying. It's higher than that. On line four, our next contestant.
$7 million.
No, that's too high, so we're in between 1 point something and $7 million. The first weekend take of the original Arthur with Dudley Moore in 1981. How much did they make? Toll free next.
$2 million.
Real close, a little bit higher than that. Line one, go ahead.
$2.3 million.
Keep on going, but you're getting close. Line two.
$4 million.
Too high. Line three, next on the Brain Buster.
$3.75.
Still too high, but coming down. We're surrounding it. Line four, what's the number?
2.4.
Nope, not 2.4. A little higher on the toll free. Maybe you'll be our prize winner. Go ahead, toll free. Toll free.
I got it. 2.7.
That's it. 2.7. A little late on the buzzer. We'll give him to him, Jen. Come on, the Bud man's feeling magnanimous this morning. Oh, Jen is tough. She's like the old Russian judge in the Olympics. She doesn't want to give it away. Well, come on. Can we give it away? Yes, you're on. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Becky Weaver.
All right, Becky. Did you see the original Arthur? Did you see the original Arthur? I thought that movie was a riot.
It was a riot.
Have you seen the new one?
You rocked last Friday.
What's that?
You rocked on Friday.
You were at the tea party?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. That was a phenomenal event. Tons of pictures on the website, by the way. Check it out at 540WFLA.com, even brand new ones as we speak. Becky, my dear, it's wonderful to have you on the show. You're a great patriot. I'm glad you were able to nail the number on the $2.7 million gross on the opening weekend for the Dudley Moore version of Arthur back in 1981. Would you hang on the line so Jeff can take your info and we're going to get you the prize?
Absolutely.
I will see you at that great mustard seed event. Hang on the line, and congratulations, my dear.
Another happy contest winner on WFLA.
You got to cut him a little slack now and then, Jen. Look at that. She's just pouting up on me in there. Hey, Jenna, you're the best multitasker with all the high-tech devices that I know. You can do 9 things at once with your face in the smartphone here. Do you know there's new research we're going to look into in the next hour that shows that all of that multitasking is going to take its toll on you? Might be frying your brain?
You know, this is going to be tough because I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah. So are all of my kids. As a matter of fact, they're coming over for Easter dinner. Linda's cooking a big Easter dinner, okay? It's why we can't go to the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress because we're having a whole family over. Otherwise, we'd be down there. And I'm about ready to say I've had it with having you kids over here talking to me while you're looking down, playing games, emailing, texting, or doing all of this. Leave the phones at home and talk to the family. I mean, it's enough. I'm tired of this. And it is an addiction. It absolutely is. Is that rude if I tell my kids, don't bring those in here on Easter Sunday?
I think it's a different beast because I don't think you understand. You take it as being disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not. That's
I don't
not
like
how it's
it.
meant. We're multitasking. I can be texting and be talking to you and understand everything you're saying to me.
I still don't feel like I have your full attention. Seems rude to me.
But it's not coming from a place of rudeness.
It's time to put you on a technology diet, and my kids and thousands of our listeners, and I'm going to make a compelling case for that next on BHL. Don't miss it. 7:58 on the 50,000-watt front porch.
Hey, boss, have you seen that TV commercial with the National Alarm Company? You know, the one where the home gets broken into with the mom and daughter at home?
Oh, yeah, that guy's a creep.
Yeah, Hey, but did you notice that instead of calling the police, the alarm company calls the lady instead?
Oh, yeah. Her and her daughter could have been killed while she was talking to the operator.
Yeah, I know. Now, if they had Safe Touch, the two-way communicator would have let the operator hear what was going on, and they'd have called the police right away.
You know, I was in a fine mood until you mentioned Safe Touch.
Yeah, well, you're not going to like this, boss. The latest edition of the Crooks R Us newsletter said the average response time for Safe Touch monitoring is 14 seconds.
Hey, Dr. K, can you hear us? Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
That's right, our Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one, and I mean no one, protects your family better than Safe Touch. So call Safe Touch today. Systems and monitoring are still less than $1 a day.
Call 407-331-0335 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
WFLF Pine Hills, WTKS FM HD2 Cocoa Beach. We are Fox News. We are 540 WFLA. 540 WFLA. Local news from the Fox Orlando News Center.
You're not going to hear anything for about 2 minutes, Dr. K.
President Obama this week launching a multifaceted campaign to sell his brand of deficit reduction. White House correspondent Mike Nakowitz has more.
Yesterday was interviews with local TV stations. Today, a town hall meeting in Northern Virginia. Tomorrow, a Facebook town hall meeting. We believe, and he shares our belief, that there are many ways to speak to the American people. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney. The president attempting to get the upper hand in a battle with Republicans over deficit reduction. Republicans focus on spending cuts, but the president hopes to preserve some spending by raising taxes on wealthier Americans.
An air traffic controller and a manager at a regional radar center in Ohio have been suspended after authorities say the controller was watching a movie while on duty this past Sunday. Authorities say the controller had his microphone stuck on activate and pilots in the air could hear the movie but couldn't reach him. This following a number of air traffic controllers falling asleep on the job in the past few weeks and those recent episodes of air traffic controllers getting caught dozing off. Do they constitute unprofessional behavior? Yes, but not a systemic crisis, according to a professional in the trade.
I went right underneath the approach to Orlando International, and the controllers here in Orlando are among the best in the world, and I mean, they have to be because of all the traffic and everything.
Doug Ronvald is a retired air traffic controller. He says there's been no compromise of air traffic safety because of these episodes. He says there's no reason to revamp the entire system because of them. Instead, just fire the offenders. 540 WFLA News Time, now 8:02. Get these stories and more at 540WFLA.com. Sports is coming up. Well, David Moss, Volkswagen Neighborhood Traffic Center. Eastbound I-4 is very slow from Canley Avenue into Colonial Drive. We're also very slow westbound I-4 just on west of Lake Harry.
Doc, it's Bud. How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to set up what the basics of the research are and have you react to it, or how did you envision it going? I don't want to throw you a curveball here. Okay, fair enough. Do it. About that. Doing this for us. Thanks in advance. How long will go, we'll see, but it definitely won't go past 8:12. Phone calls on the back end, okay, on another segment.
High today. 1 or 2 straight thunderstorms possible this evening. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Score with 540 WFLA Sports.
Well, the Orlando Magic face an important game 2 tonight at home against Atlanta. The 5th-seeded Hawks dominated the Magic on Saturday night and could put the Magic into a huge hole with a win tonight. Jameer Nelson talked about what the Magic have to do.
I think the biggest thing is we have to try to make it tougher on those guys when they have the ball, not necessarily worry about our offense too much. I mean, I know a lot of people are concerned about whether we need to get other guys involved, and other guys will get involved in our team. But first and foremost, we have to get them under control defensively.
Game 2 starts tonight at 7:30. Only 14 teams in NBA history have won a playoff series after losing the first 2 games. The Magic's Dwight Howard had a huge Game 1 with a playoff career high in points, but on Monday, he was acknowledged for what he does on the other end. Howard earned his 3rd straight NBA Defensive Player of the Year award and talked about what makes him such a top defender.
It's key to know what the other team likes to do, the best players, what they like to do. For me, I just try to learn all the plays, watch a lot of games, watch film, and learn, the other team's plays just as well as I know my plays.
In other NBA action last night, the Heat blew out Philadelphia to go up 2-0, and the Chicago Bulls took a 2-0 series lead with another close win over Indiana. I'm Brant Parsons with sports on your Gator Nation station, 540 WFLA.
This is Bud Henninger Live.
What I consider to be the greatest show on earth.
Call now, 407-916-5400. Toll free, 866-916-5400.
Do we all need to go on a technology diet? Is having our face buried in our smartphones engaging in a non-stop high-speed stream of emails, chats, texts, tweets, status updates, video links to piano-playing cats, God knows what else? Is it taking a toll? Is it frying our brains?